Hiring can be tiring. While you would like to talk to everyone, interview time is limited and expensive. What's more, you can't rely on resume and sometimes even on interviews. There's only one way to reliably validate skills and predict performance. Test them. Scientifically designed assessments have proven to be of immense value in selecting the right people. Is there a scientific and credible assessment solution? The answer is AMCAT. Evaluating over 1 million people every year, Aspiring Minds has a carefully crafted portfolio of language tests, aptitude tests, personality tests, and functional skills tests. Today, AMCAT is used by more than 1,000 organizations, including hundreds of global giants. Using state-of-the-art technology, machine learning, item response theory, advanced statistics, the tests are designed to be adaptive, reliable, valid, and highly accurate, powered with large calibrated question banks. Be it automated evaluation of computer programs, automated spoken English evaluation, situational evaluations for sales, customer service, or retail, AMCAT has solutions for thousands of job roles. We help make sure you do it right. We help you to figure out what you need to test for your job role, establish the right score benchmarks, ensuring you get good candidates worth interviewing. Our assessments reach your candidates wherever they are, in the comfort of their homes using our webcam-based proctoring technology, at campus, or in your office using tablets, computers, or even mobile phones. Truly, anywhere, anytime. Assess thousands of candidates with ease, with the convenience of a fully integrated management interface. While you will ensure your interviewers spend time on the right candidates only, you will save hiring time and money, and no longer be worried of missing the right ones. Connect with us now. www.aspiringminds.com.
A very pleasant morning to all. Every day of your life is a new beginning, not just the first day of the year. Start every day with feelings of happiness and with the anticipation that great and wonderful things are going to happen. Every day, restate your goals and follows successful life. At the same time, be open to new ideas and opportunities. We shall begin today's session. We have amidst us Mr. N.J. Lakshmi Narayan, Executive Director, Built HR Management Consultants Private Limited. Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, a venture since 2009 with a vision to be the most trusted service partner for small, medium enterprises, family management business, and startups for building HR capabilities and building organizational and business process capabilities. He worked with over 300 organizations across sectors, providing end-to-end HR solutions at 3 levels of intervention. He designed a complete solution for small business, HR in a box, to manage the employee life cycle. He has provided coaching in career transition for young managers and first-time employees. He has in-depth experience in startup organizations, policy making and implementations, employee engagement, outsource management, and corporate social responsibility. He has received certified accessor for CIIHR Excellence Award, certified in Thomas Assessment, personal profile analysis, emotional intelligence. It is an immense pleasure to welcome you, sir. The forum is yours, please. Sir, so kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and it's my pleasure to address these young minds. And on this orientation program that we're going to look at, the next 45 minutes or so, I'm going to talk to you about connecting your minds and heart. This is very, very important at this stage of your career where you've just finished schooling and you're stepping into a college. So I would be taking you through 3 concepts during my you. And I know this is going to be a one-way communication, and many of you are listening to this. I would like you to keenly look at what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to um, preach and I'm going to tell you you have to be like this, be like that. Basically, I'm going to share with you what I have learned and what it is very important for you to take up and build a great future. So, we're going to talk about connecting your minds and heart. The first and the foremost that is required is that choose your charter, your guiding principles of having joined this college, having taken up this course. What is that fundamental principles that you're going to adhere to? You could call it as your personal vision. And if that is very clearly thought at this the next 40 years of your career that you're going to work after college is going to be much more fruitful for you. This guiding principles along with is going to be driven and it is going to be guided by your credos, that is the belief. So with this charter and your credo, if you're going to craft up very clearly, then your future is built block by block. What we're going to look for the next couple of slides, and I'm going to make this 45 minutes very clearly split into your principles, your beliefs, and your future. That's how I'm going to go about this discussion. So, what is that you're going to learn? All of us learn, we keep on learning, and learning is a continuous process. But at this stage of your very, very crucial learning process that you're beginning, we need to understand that the three most fundamental things that you learn during your college life: the personal skills that you will build on, the work skills that you will start learning and learning how to apply, and the work habits that you will cultivate. The institution, by and large, builds us as a holistic human being. We talk about life skills, we talk about self awareness, the needs, interests, values, and lifestyles. Many a times, we are not able to express within ourselves what is that we need, what is that we want. We normally go by what the social norm is, the herd mentality we talk about. It becomes very, very late before we realize what is that I actually need. It is high time we start spending time to ourselves and identifying our needs. The interests. You might have heard the word, what are my hobbies? What are my interests? But if you're going to build your career based on your interests, nothing like it. Don't build your careers based on someone else's interest, based on what the social interests are. You are going to actually learn a personal skill of setting goals and decision making, whether to attend a class or not, whether to score well in this class or not, whether to do your practicals or not. So those are all small, small decisions that you will learn, and you will also learn about the consequences. You will also talk about goal setting to yourself, and you will start learning what it is to set a target, work towards a target, and how do you break it into smaller chunks and how do you achieve it. We are also going to talk about coping with common personal problems. It is a reality that we will start realizing that we cannot be good in everything. It is very, very important we start looking at the areas where we are good and how do we master that skill. We also will realize that we might not be good at engineering drawing, we might not be good at memorizing, maybe we are not good at numerical ability, but all those things are going to slowly evolve and we are going to experiment ourselves in this next 4 years or 3 years that we're going to be there. There is something called self-esteem that you learn. Self-esteem is very, you are able to identify your needs and interests and work, and if you don't know where you are good, you will start realizing you are not worth it. And let us all remember, every one of us have something in us, and only that we need to realize what is that we have in us. The self confidence, which is very, very important for us to be successful in life. And that self confidence, how do you build something that you personal skills? Building a positive attitude. It is very easy for us to get influenced and very easy to be. You can be very pessimistic about life. You think about what all you should not do, because that's how we have been growing. We've been told not to do this, not to stand here, not to look at this, not to mingle with them. But is there a guideline for us to say what to do? It's very, very important that you start building on your positive attitude about it. Your personal hygiene and grooming. And now, in this background, it is even more important how to start developing a behavior which is more of personal hygiene and personal grooming. You might have been practicing certain things before, but when you're getting into the next levels of important future that you're going to build on, how do you groom yourself? How do you build up your personal hygiene? It is given that you need to brush your teeth, you need to comb your hair, you need to dress appropriately. I'm not saying dress correctly, appropriately. How do you dress yourself appropriately? And these personal skills, there is not going to be any school which is going to take you through this. This life in the college that you're going to spend, this 4 years that you're going to spend, is something that will get reinforced. And this life skill, you will never get it back. Live all those 4 years fully, experience it, allow it to sink in, allow yourself to fail, allow yourself to learn. And that is what these personal skills are going to be. The next part of it that you're going to learn and you're going to put efforts to learn is on the work skills. Every one of you are going to ask, what is that I am going to gain by studying this course? You need to understand how you are able to put this into practice and make it an employable skill that you have learnt. Every skill is employable. It is high time that we realize that there is no skill which cannot be commercialized. There is no skill which is not worth to be employable. It is. And you need to understand it. Only when you experiment, only start applying, and only when you start taking feedback this 4 years, you will know how employable you are going to be after you complete this course. Learning to do your job is something very, very important. All these time, there was someone else who was doing your work. There was someone else who was packing your bag. There was someone else who was telling you to get ready. There was someone else who was telling you what is good and what is not good for you. But it is high time you start realizing, how do you take up responsibility? How do you complete your task, assignments, and submit it on time? No one is going to follow it up with you, but it's going to reflect in your internal assignments. No one is going to follow it up with you, but it's going to talk about how much you have understood and analyzed what you've learned. And this fundamental learning to do your job of whatever task that has been assigned to you is very, very important. Creative thinking and problem solving. Many of us are told that you're either born creative or not creative. No, it is not so. Creativity can be cultivated. Many of us have been given to believe that the more unorganized you are, the more creative you are. It is not necessary. You can be process driven, you can think sequentially and still be creative. That is what is called incremental improvements that you start doing, and you start being creative on improvising on what you learn, and how do you go about. The problem solving skills is something which is fundamental on your work skill that is required for you tomorrow when you get into the world of work. Then we're talking about getting along with people. All this time, you've been assessed as an individual. You've been asked to do individual tasks. You've been evaluated as an individual and been given marks. But please understand, this is the last phase where you will get an opportunity to mingle, work together, and learn together, and start understanding people. How do you build relationships? How do you build interpersonal relationship? These things, traditionally, you were learning in a joint family. You were learning in the society. You were learning in the community. But today, more and more that we're getting disintegrated, the more and more we are distancing ourselves, it becomes very important. How do you start working with people, even in remote, even in virtual? Workplace communication is very, very important. Listening is even more important. And these are the skills that you will start cultivating, sharpening it, and these are the fundamental skills which are going to be very, very significantly assessed when you get into employment. So these are the last 4 years of yours. It is very important to cultivate these work skills. Then comes to your work habit, punctuality, time management, attendance, work ethics. All these things are a habit. You cannot be punctual only at work and be non punctual or don't care about the time when you're off work. No, it doesn't happen. It is basically a behavior that you exhibit and becomes your work habit. So, this is what you are expected to learn, and this is how you are going to take your next 40 years of your life forward. Join this college. There is a role that is expected of you as a student, and that role as a student in this college needs clarity. Your fundamental purpose is to learn. The fundamental purpose is to go by the charter, and fundamental purpose is to navigate yourself and build your credos. And what do you believe in? And that role clarity needs to be defined. And that's why such exercises are done in college when all of you are getting on board need to have that clarity of why have you taken up college education? Why didn't you go up on part-time education? Why didn't you go on distance education? Why did you choose this college? If that clarity is very, very clear, then automatically the next level of expectations comes to you. The role sensitivity is very, very important. You need to be sensitive on what does this role clarity lead to. The role clarity needs to have a role sensitivity. You are being told do's and don'ts. You're being told what to follow. You need to know that your internals, your assignments, your semester exams, and then your year after year, how does it progress and how significant it is for you. And this sensitivity is the responsibility of the college. It is the college, your professors, your faculty, your colleagues, all of them who need to bring in sensitivity on why this role of a student that you need to play. And as the sensitivity clarity comes in, then comes the role acceptance. Role acceptance comes from you as a student. The role acceptance cannot be imposed on you. It's fundamentally very, very important that when role clarity and role sensitivity lies in the college and the institution to actually impart onto you and set the boundaries clear and define it, then it comes to you on accepting that role. Having accepted the role, it doesn't mean that you become a successful student. You need to be committed to the role. The committed to the role is the basic fundamentals, be it your dress code, be it your timing, be it your on time submission of assignments, being attending classes. All those things is a way of exhibiting that you're committed to the role that you have chosen. This role commitment only leads to role integration. And the role integration is the first slide that we're talking about building your future. If you are very clear about what is the future that you need to build on, if you are very clear on building your charter, if you are very clear on building your credos, then your hearts and minds connect. If your heart and mind need to be connected, then your future becomes much more clearer. If you want to build a fantastic future for yourself, whatever it is, you need to have your fundamentals very, very clear, which is your principle, guiding principles and your code values. If this is what we're looking at, this is what it means on having willfully accepted to be a student and willfully having taken up this charter of yes, this 4 years I will go through a process. The role clarity and the role sensitivity talks about the significance of this degree. It talks about the ownership that you're going to have on yourself about this degree that you're going to get at the end of the 4 years. It is also going to demonstrate the way you're going to go through. That is what is called the process. We have been till now successful in saying that I will read at the last minute and then do my exams and I will continue to pass. That is not important. The ownership has to be demonstrated. It is not enough for you to say that I paid my fees and therefore I'm a student and therefore at the end of the 4th year or the 8th semester I'll get my degree. No, you need to demonstrate it. And it happens. So this is one important aspect that I would like to say. Hello, can you hear?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah, okay. So this is something which is very important that we need to understand on role clarity, role sensitivity, role acceptance, role commitment, and role integration. Having said this, every one of us learn. We learn through various methods. And the models of learning can be seeing, can be imitating, can be experimenting, and can be reflective. Many times we see and learn, but that is very, very shallow. As we see new things, as we learn new things, the past things goes down under our memory. As we experiment, we start learning them hard. It gets imbibed into it. And experimental learning is something which is deep into us. Reflective learning is learning from a smaller learning to a bigger learning. You apply, you extrapolate, and then you start learning onto it. Imitation and seeing is similar types of learning. They say seeing and imitating is the easiest form of learning. Children learn by seeing. When we are young, we see elders and we start imitating them. And that becomes, if it's a good role model, if it's going to give you positive returns, then you start imitating them. You have styles, you have fashion, you have the way you talk, all those things are imitated. Then comes to experimental learning, where you start experimenting. You do something, you gain success onto it, and you start building onto it. That's how your labs, your practicals, your projects, all those things that you do is experiential learning. Then comes to reflective learning. What you learn in the college, many times we have heard many of us saying that all my college learning has been useful. What I'm working, I'm not able to learn. It is not so. It has to be extrapolated. You need to apply your learning and reflectively start doing things in a different way from your past learning. Learning leads to your values and beliefs. What are your values? Exposes you to that learning. The narrow your beliefs are, the narrow is your learning. The wider you expand. So it is an interrelated one. Your fundamental values and your beliefs guides your learning. The more you learn, your values and beliefs expand. So this loop of learning and values beliefs leads to needs. Needs is what defines what do you want. The more you learn, the more you qualify, the more positive rewards that you get, the better appreciation that you get. Your needs start expanding. So you want to go for higher studies, you want to do a doctorate, you want to do research, you want to become an engineer, you want to become a production manager, you want to become a quality manager, you want to become a supply chain, you want to get into advertising. All those needs comes from your learning and your belief that yes, I can be successful in this, and this is something which is interesting and I would love doing it. And this needs leads to your goals. Without a need, if you have goals, you will never achieve it. The more clarity you have in your needs, then your personal determination makes you set goals, targets, and aim towards it. The goals need to be time bound, need to be specific, need to be sharp, and you need to work towards that goals only when your needs are clarified. The goals leads to planning. Once you have set your goals, your planning becomes easy. It leads to planning. So therefore, if you say that at end of 4th year, I want to come up with 80%, 75%, I should have no internal hires. I should be able to complete all my papers within that each semester. I should be able to get a good campus. I should be able to prepare for my higher studies. I should be able to get a good CAT score. You might have different goals, but for that, you start planning now. You can never prepare for a CAT exam at the last semester. You can never get into higher studies thinking at the seventh semester that, yes, I want to do an MS. I want to go to the US. I want to do my MPhil. I want to do my PhD. No, it doesn't happen. So the clarity in planning leads to actions. You need to action your planning. It is not enough if you just talk about it, write it, and keep it to yourself. You need to break it into small actions, and daily you need to execute it. You need to tick it off. You need to have a daily plan. You need to have a diary. You need to have a reminder set, and you need to complete that. And only when you do this will you get results. Many of us think without doing all these ladders, we get results. Many of us think we study at the last minute and anyway we got 80%, we will get that. No, it will not be your best. So this is something which is the learning curve which is reinforced. Now, just look at this short story. I will read it out to you because many of you keenly watch the screen that I'm talking and I'll be reading it for you. This is all about observing. A young boy turned up to say and said to the sage, I would like to study with you. What is your name and where are you from? The sage asked. I'm Satyakama, the son of Jabala, and that's all I know, said the boy. I will teach you, but first take my 100 cows with you to the forest, tend them till they become 1,000, and then come back to me, said the sage. Satyakama went to the forest, and he had to tend the cows alone for days no end. But he was always bright and cheerful. There was so much to learn by watching the sun rise and set every day. He learned about the seasons and about energy. By watching nature around him, he learned about kindness and compassion. Many years went by, and the herd became 1,000 in number. So, as a young man, Satyakama went back with the cows. The sage saw him and said, I can see from your face that you have learnt much about the world and life. There is very little for me to teach you. In a way, this is what is going to happen to you in the college. If you're expecting your faculty to spoon feed you, no. Today is a technology world. Today is an era where you can Google up and read anything and everything. But all that you need to experience this 4 years in the college is something beyond just spoon feeding and marks. And if you are fully aware of that, and if you realize that your faculty are only your co-facilitators, they are going to only show you where to see. What to see is in your hands. What do you see is in your hands. At the most, your institution, your faculty, your HOD can show you where to see. The interpretation, each one of you can do it on your own. In a way, Satyakama is one of them. Gautama maybe is your faculty. And this is a parable that I picked up and I thought it was very, very important because when I was in college, when I studied, the institution gave me so much of learning, so much of experience. So I thought at this stage, it's very important that I share it with you. There is so much to learn if only you're willing to learn. There is nothing like I didn't learn anything today. It is only left to you to say, what did you learn? Just keep your eyes and ears open and you will start learning. And today in this virtual world, As you started last week on your onboarding, people are inducting you, orienting you. You're going to put up your laptop and you're going to be busy doing your own things. Your attention span has shrunk. But please understand, just drop an ear onto this. Just see what they are talking about. Don't be evaluative. It will make sense to you, if not today, sometime. There is learning value in everything that you do. That is something which is important. This is the first level. You come to college, you go. You attend classes, you go. You attend to the online virtual classes, you go. Some assignments are there, you write, you get marks. This is the first level. But please understand, there is a second level of learning. What can you learn by this virtual technology? What can you learn by this system of 1,000 people logging in? People from different parts of the city or the town talking to you, and you get to see different faces and you see what they're doing. Recollect some of the things you learn from the nature. Some of you come from very, very good schools, which has got fabulous campus, fabulous processes, very good teachers, very good friends, very good classmates. The very journey of you traveling in the bus to your school and coming back, all of them have taught you so many things. Reflect how observant you are in your interactions. When you're interacting does not mean that you need to talk. You can also see and learn. That's what I talked to you in the previous slide. You see and learn. This is the second level of learning. Now, the third level of learning. How can you see learning hidden in everything you observe? Whatever you see, there is something hidden in it. It is up to you to extract and take it for you to learn. How do you learn from whatever you see? You can learn what to do, and you can at the same time learn what not to do. Learning what not to do is also as important as learning what to do. You do your experiments, you fail on an experiment. One of the best learning. If you don't fail, you copy or you download some project and you submit. You have never learned. What is the nature of observing? Observing is an art. There are different levels of observations that you do. And my next slide will talk about that. To look is one thing. You've been looking into the screen for the past 20 minutes, 30 minutes now. To see what you look is another. To understand what you see is a third part. To learn from what you understood is still something else. But to act on what you learn is all that really matters. You might have not learned anything in your school. Just by the process, you might have gotten to the college. You can start learning now. Yes, Anand? You raised your hand? Okay. So to look is one thing, to see what you look is another, to understand what you see is the third, to learn from what you understand is still something else. But to act on what you learn is what all that matters. Okay, now I'm going to take you through this interesting part of what you need to do. Did the screen sharing stop?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Has it come up?
No. Couldn't see your slide, sir.
1 minute. Has it come up? Has the screen sharing come?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Show up is one part that we're going to talk about now. Show up for your loved ones. It's very, very important that you are there. Show up for your team. Show up for your teachers. Show up for your friends. Show up where you are needed the most. This is one fundamental principles that you need to understand when you are in the institution. For that matter, for your entire career that you're going to build on from now. Show up for your loved ones. People who love and care for you, reciprocate. Show up for your team. When there is a team, whether others perform or not, whether you perform or not, it is very important as a team, you are there. You stand. Show up for your teachers. Show up for your friends where you are needed the most. It is very important that you are there when you are needed the most, not when you need the most. When others need you, show up. Speak up. Speak up for whatever you believe in. Speak up for what is right. Speak up for the truth. Speak up for the unheard. It is very important that you speak. It is not important that you need to speak flowery language. It is not important that you need to speak in English. You can speak in whichever language you want. It is what you communicate and what others understand. Communication is all about what you express and how much others have understood. Speak up for what you believe in. Speak up for what is right. Speak up for the truth. Speak up for the unheard. Take up. Take up more responsibility. This is the stage in your career where you need to take responsibility. Don't shun responsibility. Volunteer. What no one else has taken, you take it up. Take up something to make a difference. Don't take up things after evaluating what is in it for me. You need not always win. You need not always have the best, but still take up. It could be a small paper on the road. Pick it up. Take up responsibility. Volunteer. If someone else has not volunteered, you volunteer to take it. Take up something which makes a difference. Hold up. Hold up every promise you make. Even if you are 1,000 miles away. Promise is a promise that you need to do. You need to keep up. The trust that others have on you. Hold up to the promise others have on you. The faith you have in yourself. Hold up to the faith you have in yourself. Hold up to your positivity. And hold up to the commitment to others. Whatever commitment that you're given, hold up to it. Hold up to the positivity in you. Hold up to the faith you have in yourself. Hold up the trust that others have in you. Every promise you make, even if you are 1,000 miles away, that is on hold up. Shake up. Shake up the belief that you cannot. Shake up the belief of others. You as a younger generation who is moving in from the time you finished your 12th standard to the time you came to the college, the complete system has been shaken up. Everything has changed within the 6-7 months. The system has changed. The routine has changed. The belief of others that they cannot has changed. And the belief that you cannot has also changed. You've been privileged. You've been given a ground zero. Everyone is starting on the same platform now. You might have missed out something in the past. But to put in effort, shake up yourself and start. Build up. Build up to your self-esteem. Build up to your credibility. And build up to the confidence in the team. Build up your self-esteem. Build up your credibility. And build up the confidence in the team. And finally, pack up. Pack up gracefully. The 4 years of your college life, you need to pack up very, very gracefully. Don't carry on your enmity. Have a graceful relationship. Be grateful for all those people who are going to be with you. Pack up with a smile and pack up with a lot of hope. Packing up, the art of leaving the 4 years of college life and then moving into your career is very, very important. Be graceful. Be grateful. Do it with a smile and with hope. The last slide. We are what we think. All that we are arises from our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make this world. And with this, I stop this introduction to you. I talked to about build up your charter, that is your fundamental guidance principles, and build up your credos, that is your belief. From there, you will be building the blocks of your future. Then I talked to about what do you learn. You talked about personal skills, work skills, and work habits. The personal skills talks about all those things of your life skills. The work skills talks about all those skills that is required for you to be successful in your career tomorrow. The work habit is something which you practice this 4 years, where tomorrow when you go to work, whether it is work ethics or whether it is punctuality and attendance. Then I talk to you about the art of learning. How does results come? How do you go from learning to values to beliefs to needs, needs to goals, goals to planning, planning to actioning, action to results. So from there, I talk to you about the 7 fundamental principles. I talk to you about show up, talk to you about speak up, I talk to you about take up, and I talk to you about hold up. And then I talk to you about shake up, then I talk to you about build up, and then I talk to you about packing. Thank you. Thank you for the time. And it has been my pleasure to address you all. And it's great to be there. And can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
so
I
much.
leave it to you. Thank you. Yep.
Jivita? Jivita? Kindly unmute yourself and you can go with the question.
Yeah. Yes, Jivita, you raised your hands. You can ask a question. Unmute yourself, please.
I think she is not available right now, sir.
Okay. She raised her hands. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone can ask questions?
Can give you valuable questions in chat box.
Yep. You can type it in the chat box. I can pick it up.
I think they are satisfied with the
Yep.
content, sir. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time to speak to us on the very important topic on connecting your mind and heart.
Yeah.
A well and detailed explanation on life skill, self-awareness, goal setting and decision making and so on, which is required for one's success. Thank you once again.
There
So
is
we
one
have a
question.
question.
Yeah. There's
How
one
to
question from
overcome
Gopal
fear
Chandra.
from Gopal Chandra,
Yeah.
Mechanical Department.
Sure. A good question. How to overcome fear? Fear is something which is coming from your feeling. The more you are unprepared, the more the fear comes. And fear is something based on what others will evaluate you for. The more you build your self esteem, the lesser will be the fear. The self esteem is based on understanding your self worthiness. What am I? What do I want to achieve? Will overcome your fear. Fear is something which is basically inside you. Someone else cannot remove fear in you. It is you who have to put in the efforts and have to overcome it. How to build a self motivation? No one will motivate you. You need to identify your needs and identify what motivates you. For me, if I want to have a chocolate and if it gives me energy and it gives me motivation, I should get myself a chocolate. Someone else cannot identify that. If I give him a chocolate, he'll get motivated. What is my motivator is basically within me. How to develop self confidence? The more clarity that you have in what you want, your guiding principles and your beliefs, then your self confidence builds. Sometime back when I was attending one of the programs, one of them told me, தாய் மொழிய தவறில்லாம பேசு, அந்நிய நாட்டு மொழிய முயற்சி போட்டு பேசு. When you're talking in English, it is that effort which is important. It is not that perfection. When you're talking in Tamil, don't talk like you're talking in English. இன்னைக்கு ஃபேஷனபிள் ஆயிடுச்சு, ஆனா அது கிடையாது முக்கியம். Using social media is good one or not? Till March, when you are in mobile, எப்போ பார்த்தாலும் மொபைல்லே இருக்கு திட்டினாங்க. இன்னைக்கு உன்னோட எதிர்காலமே மொபைல்ல தான் இருக்கு. So it is not that instrument in your hand that decides whether it is good or not. It is how purposefully you use it. You can use that mobile to attend classes. You can use that mobile to actually do many things. How to stay concentrated? Concentration comes from your interest. If I'm interested, I concentrate. There are times when I sit and watch IPL between 7:30 until 11 o'clock. Where does that concentration come from? Without any disturbances? It is basically from your interest. That's how it is. Overconfidence comes when no one gives you a feedback and you don't listen. When you listen, your confidence gets grounded. Distraction is when you're not interested, you're distracted. Yeah, I think I quickly went through some of the questions and I tried to answer.
Yes, sir, you have done well.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
So how do you go next?
Dear students, kindly stay back. We have few instructions for today's session.
Okay, good morning, Lakshmi Narayan sir.
Good morning.
Students. Sir, I need to share my screen. So please stop the screen you have shared.
You want the screen?
Already you have shared, sir. Please stop screening.
I have stopped it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, good morning, students. Greetings from Sairam institutions, and you have some instructions regarding the further sessions today today. So we have now watched a wonderful session from Sir through Zoom and also from YouTube. Then the important instruction is you should open your official mail ID. The official mail ID will be student ID at the Sairam tab. Tab means training and placement .edu.in. So your password is welcome at 123, and welcome, the W is capital letter. Example, if you are a Sairam Engineering College student, your student ID number will be SEC. It's an example, 20, and that our department, CS or any AA or any department, and your number at sairam.tab.edu.in. If you are in Sairam Institute of Technology student, then your official mail ID will be SIT 20. It's an example number. It will vary at sairamtab.edu.in. So kindly log in this mail ID now. Your ID number at sairamtab.edu.in. The password is welcome at 123. The W is capital letter. So after login, please change your password. Then today's session, and the session one was from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Through Zoom as well as YouTube Live. But session two will be from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Through Zoom only. So Sairam engineering students and the Sairam Institute of Technology have different Zoom ID and passcode. Kindly check the mail. Your Zoom meeting ID and the Zoom passcode will be shared to you. Okay. Then session three. Today session three will be at 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. through Google Meet. So today you will be in different digital platforms. The first session in YouTube as well as Zoom meetings, and the second session will be only through Zoom, and third session will be in Google Meet. This Google Meet link will be shared to your mail. So all the communications will be shared only through your mail. So kindly log in your mail immediately. Then this will be the second session today for Sairam Engineering College students. That session will begin at 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and the meeting ID is there. This flyer and this meeting ID and passcode are shared to your mail ID, official mail ID. So you have to log in only through that official mail ID only. For Sairam Institute of Technology students, you have a different session, and session two, at the same time, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. with a different meeting ID and passcode. So for Sairam Engineering College students and for Sairam Institute of Technology, the speaker will be different, and the meeting ID and the passcode also different. So all the communications are shared to your official mail ID. Please log in and check your mail and participate in the session 2 program also. Then the feedback forms for all the sessions will be shared to your official mail ID only. You have to give the feedbacks so that we can get the valuable suggestions and opinions from you. And most of the students have some difficulty of how to log in Zoom. So first in Google, type zoom.us. Just type zoom.us. Then click sign in. That sign in will give some different way to log in. Then click sign in with Google. There is a logo like this. Before signing with Google, click the sign in with Google. Then enter your official mail ID. That Sairam ID at sairamtab.edu.in, your mail ID, and your password. That is welcome at 123, or you may change it now. That use that new password. Then enter the meeting ID for that Zoom meeting and the passcode. So Sairam Engineering College student and the Sairam Institute of Technology students have different meeting ID and different passcode. Then you will be in the waiting room. Then host will allow you to that program, session 2 program. Okay, I am repeat. Type zoom.us in Google. Then click sign in. Then click sign in with Google. There is a logo before the sign in with Google. Then enter your official mail ID and password. Official mail ID is password. If you enter the official mail ID, Sairam ID at sairamtab.edu.in, then enter the welcome at 123 password. If you changed the password welcome at 123, then use the new password you have changed. Then enter the meeting ID. The meeting ID and the password are shared to your official mail ID. Then that different mail IDs, different meeting IDs and passcode for Sairam Engineering College students and Sairam Institute of Technology. Then you will be in a waiting room after entering this passcode. Then we will allow you to participate in the program. So session 2 will be only on Zoom. There is no YouTube live. If you have any doubts, any clarifications about this mail ID, or if you want to get any mail ID, then WhatsApp to this number 988484568. I repeat, 988484568. Okay, thank you. If you have any doubts, please raise your hand. Lokeshwaran.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, can you share this one more screen, sir? How to log in the official email ID? Can you show the screen?
Okay, I will share. Any other doubts?
No, sir. No, sir. No doubts. Nothing.
Okay. Alan Donald.
ID, the one which we got, sir, எந்த ஐடி யூஸ் பண்ணணும் சார்? ஐடி நம்பர் அது ஆடிட்டோரியட்ல தந்ததா?
இல்லப்பா, நீங்க சாய்ராம் இன்ஜினியரிங் காலேஜ், சாய்ராம் இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் ஆஃப் டெக்னாலஜி அப்பா?
இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் ஆஃப் டெக்னாலஜி சார்.
அப்பனா SIT 20. நீங்க என்ன டிபார்ட்மென்ட்?
EC சார், EC.
ஓகே, அப்ப EC ஒரு 3 டிஜிட் ஒரு நம்பர் இருக்கும். அந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள் காமிச்சேன் இல்லைங்களா, அதே மாதிரி நம்பர் இருக்கும். @sairamtab.edu.in அப்படிங்கறத உங்களுடைய அபிஷியல் மெயில் ஐடி. இனிமே எல்லா கம்யூனிகேஷனும் உங்களுக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப்போ இல்ல எதுவுமே வராது. ஒன்லி த்ரூ திஸ் அபிஷியல் மெயில் ஐடியில தான் ஃபார் த 4 இயர்ஸ் என்டையர் 4 இயர்க்கான கம்யூனிகேஷன்ஸ் அதுல தான் வரும். சரிங்களா? இப்ப நாளைக்கான இன்னைக்கு ப்ரோக்ராம் உங்களுக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப்ல அனுப்பிச்சிருப்பாங்க இல்லையா, யூடியூப் லைவ் இருக்கு, அது எல்லாமே ஃபிளையர் எல்லாமே இது மாதிரி எல்லாமே இனிமே அந்த மெயில் ஐடிக்கு தான் வரும். அதுதான் உங்களுக்கான 4 இயர்ஸ்க்கான மெயில் ஐடி. அதை உடனே லாகின் பண்ணுங்க. அதுல ஏதாவது டிஃபிகல்ட்டி இருந்ததுன்னா அந்த நம்பருக்கு வந்து கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. எனக்கு லாகின் ஆகல, அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது டிஃபிகல்ட்டி இருந்ததுன்னா திரும்ப நான் அந்த ஸ்லைட்ஸை வந்து ஷேர் பண்றேன். சரிங்களா? இன்னும் ஒருத்தரை நம்ம கேட்கலாம். நந்தகுமார்.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, actually I have the same doubt which was asked before, sir. The previous mail which have been given, the 20200, that mail, sir.
That is not that your official mail ID now. That was before that we have used. Now you use this one ID only, that SEC or SIT, that number, that ID only, your official mail ID.
Yes, sir, but for the Coursera program, you are logged in that mail ID only.
Yeah. We that is also currently available. We also know that you are using that ID only. You are learning Coursera courses.
Yes,
that
sir.
ID is available only. After the Coursera courses completion only, we will delete.
Okay, sir.
That is available. That is available only.
So we can keep in use, no, sir. It's no problem that we must.
It's no problem, but you need to use this ID only from today onwards.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Sridhar.
Hello, sir.
Yes, pa.
Sir, in the last 3 number, எந்த number? அந்த SIT 20 artificial intelligence எப்படி கொடுக்கணும்?
உங்களுக்கு அந்த ஐடி நம்பர் ஷேர் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. அட்மிஷன் லெட்டர்ல வந்து கவுண்டர் நம்பர் 7ல நீங்க அட்மிஷன் லெட்டர்ல வந்து உங்களுக்கு கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. ஒரு அட்மிஷன் லெட்டர் கொடுத்தாங்க இல்லையா? அந்த அட்மிஷன் லெட்டர்ல அந்த நம்பர், அந்த இது இருக்கும் பாருங்க, அந்த நம்பர் இருக்கும் பாருங்க.
ஓகே சார்.
கவுண்டர் நம்பர் 7ல அட்மிஷன் லெட்டர்ல அந்த நம்பர் இருக்கும். அந்த நம்பரை பார்த்து அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த சாய்ராம் டேப், அதை மறந்துடாதீங்க, சாய்ராம் TAP ட்ரைனிங் அண்ட் பிளேஸ்மெண்ட், அதான் tab.edu.in.
ஓகே. ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் எப்படி சார் எடுக்கும்? ஷார்ட் ஃபார்ம்ல எழுதணும்.
அதுல இருக்கும்பா, அந்த நம்பர் ஃபுல்லாவே இருக்கும். அதாவது SIT SEC அந்த நம்பர் ஃபுல்லாவே அப்படியே இருக்கும்.
ஓகே சார். Thank you, sir.
சரண்ராஜ். அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க.
போன் இல்ல
விக்னேஷ். விக்னேஷ்
சார் குட் மார்னிங் சார்.
குட் மார்னிங் பா
சார். மொத்தம் 3 செஷன் தானே சார்? தேர்ட் செஷன் டைமிங் என்ன சார்?
தேர்ட் செஷன் வந்து 2:30 to 3:30. அதுல நீங்க குரூப்பா செப்பரேட் ஆயிடுவீங்க. அதுவும் உங்களுக்கு மெயில்ல நாங்க லிங்க் அனுப்புவோம். அந்த லிங்கை கிளிக் பண்ணி மட்டும்தான் நீங்க வர முடியும். அதாவது நீங்க டிஃப்ரெண்ட் குரூப்க்கு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் லிங்க் இருக்கும். அதனால அதை ஷேர் பண்ண முடியாது காமனா. சரியா? உங்களுக்கு மெயில் ஐடியில உங்களுடைய அபிஷியல் மெயில் ஐடியில என்ன உங்களுக்கு வருதோ அதை அப்படியே ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்க. Sai Teja.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, pa.
I didn't understand that about official mail ID. SIT
Okay,
20.
I will share again the slides.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So those who are in this Zoom and also in YouTube la watch பண்றவங்களுக்கும் clear-ஆ it is not clear. Okay. ஸோ உங்களுக்கான அஃபிஷியல் மெயில் ஐடி நாங்கள் ஷேர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஓகே. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு வந்து உங்களுடைய ஐடி நம்பர் தெரியல அப்படின்னா நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணுங்க, உங்களுடைய ஆன்லைன் ரெஜிஸ்டர் நம்பர் இருக்கு இல்லையா, உங்களுடைய ஆன்லைன்.
Sir, I can't understand Tamil, sir.
Okay, you can't understand. So if you don't know your ID number or email ID, you have to send an WhatsApp to the following number. I will give that number.
Okay.
1 minute, please. 1 minute. 9848. I will type in chat box also. 988484567 Okay. 988484567 WhatsApp your online registration number. Okay, your online registration number 2020. It starts like 2020. That number. To this WhatsApp number 988484567 then you will get your official mail ID, your student ID number. If you get your student ID number, then enter your student ID number, then put that symbol at Sairam TAP training and placement Sairam tap.edu.in. that is your official mail ID. Okay. So then the password is welcome at 123. Welcome, in that word welcome, the W is a capital letter. W is a capital letter. Okay. Welcome at 123. W is the capital letter and remaining are small letters. Then go to that login. Then change your password. And that second session will shortly start at 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and third session will be from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Second session is only through Zoom meeting. Third session will be from Google Meet. Okay, that we will share that details and that login details, everything to your email ID, official email ID. So to log in Zoom, okay, to log in Zoom, type zoom.us in Google, zoom.us in Google, then click sign in. Then in sign in page, there is a G logo, Google logo G, sign in with Google. Click that sign in with Google, then enter your official mail ID, your ID at sairam.edu.in, then enter your password, welcome at n23, or if you have changed, then use that new password. Then enter the meeting ID. We shared to your mail ID for session 2. Then enter the passcode. That meeting ID and passcode for session 2 for today's session we have shared to your official mail ID. If you have any clarifications, then regarding your official mail ID, then just WhatsApp your student registration ID to that 988484567 number. Just WhatsApp. You will get your ID number. Okay. So this session, okay, only one question. Srihari, unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Sir, could you please show the slide for the format of the email ID, sir?
I shared, but it not appearing.
It was not clear, sir.
It was not clear. If it is okay, are you able to see?
Yes, sir. It's sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, this is for the steps to enter in a Zoom meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Srinivasan, sir. Srinivasan, sir.
Sir, question, Lama?
Yes, sir.